all seen a plastic bottle on our beaches, but did you know that between Japan and Hawaii there is a floating mass of plastic that is so big scientists say it's twice the size of the US? And in 2016, the United Nations warned it's becoming visible from space. Now, plastics isn't just a problem for our oceans. I spoke to Greenpeace to find out just how rubbish in the sea is a problem that is making its way back onto our plates. How much plastic is there in our oceans?
A massive amount. I mean, the best estimates that we've got, and obviously the oceans are a massive place, hard to get this data, but it's 5 trillion pieces. It's about 12 million tonnes a year. That's equivalent to a rubbish truck full of plastic being dumped into the oceans every minute. A majority of it, I'd say, is single-use plastics. It's food packaging, it's plastic bottles. As plastic lives out there in the ocean, it gets broken down very slowly. I say it takes hundreds of years for it to break right down. And it turns into something called microplastics, which also have a massive impact on wildlife, and we're finding more and more out about that.
So what type of threats do the microplastics actually pose to marine life?
They not only release the chemicals that are in the plastic, which can be quite harmful, they're attracting these chemicals that are out there in the oceans, which have been banned decades ago, things like DDT. And then the pieces of plastic are being eaten by all kinds of marine life, mussels, fish, the kind of fish that people commonly eat.
Fish around the globe are consuming microplastics. Now, Professor Richard Thompson is an expert in marine biology, and last year he did a research on a sample of fish that found a third of them actually contain plastic. So let's go and find out if these effects on humans are really overstated. What is actually happening when it comes to the microplastics and the pollutants, I guess, that we're putting into the sea?
Well, there's a number of things I could show you. I mean, one, the remains of a plastic carrier bag that I got from a shop in Plymouth in 2004, and on it claimed to be one of the world's first completely biodegradable plastic bags. And I'll say in inverted commas biodegrade, because in my view it hasn't biodegraded, it's disintegrated. The long-term trajectory is from a few large items breaking progressively down into smaller and smaller pieces, these microplastics. Coupled with that, we've got a 150 ml container, and from that, these are the microbeads that we've heard so much about 2.8 million pieces in that jar. This container has entirely come from this one. You can't take these for recycling. At the end of their lifetime, they're going to go down the plug hole, but some are likely to escape wastewater treatment and enter the environment. I'm not at the moment concerned that current levels of contamination in any of the fish that we've looked at or that I've heard about reported elsewhere, that the levels present a cause for concern for human consumption. Let's imagine we were having this discussion in 10 or 20 years' time. If it does reach the concentrations in the environment that are showing clear harm, then it could actually be too late. We shouldn't be waiting to see, is it actually going to be harmful to humans?
If I told you that by eating 6 oysters you were consuming up to 50 pieces of plastic, would you believe me?
Oh, I didn't realise it would be that bad, no.
No, I wouldn't believe that, no.
Oh my goodness, no.
Do you like oysters?
Thankfully not, no.
Disgusting, really. Absolutely no necessity for it. People can dispose of their stuff these days with recycling systems and that, so.
I would be a bit reserved to eat fish if it contained plastic and it was actually going to be ingested by myself.
I'll always eat fish. Probably won't change, probably too late to change.
Would it make you want to change the way that you dispose of your plastics, knowing this?
Yeah, definitely.
Get rid of single-use bottles.
There's got to be something done by the government that will make everybody do it.
So we know what the people think, but what is being done by the government to combat the growing impact of microplastics on marine life and the people across the UK? Here's the statement they sent us. We are taking significant steps to tackle plastic waste, including plans to introduce a ban on plastic microbeads, taking 9 billion plastic bags out of circulation, with our carrier bag charge and the launch of a call for evidence around deposit reward and return schemes for plastic bottles and other drinks containers. We recognise there is more to do in this area, and we will be working with industry to explore how we can further reduce the amount of single-use plastic waste as part of our resource and waste strategy. So right now I'm in Plymouth Fishery just to find out how much people involved in the fishing industry understand about fish consuming plastic and how it impacts their business. When you're fishing, how much plastic do you see?
It's mostly plastic bags that we would get in the nets that get caught up in the mesh of the net. But it's something we don't like to see. We get on bags, we put them on board, and all the debris we get, and every time we go ashore, we would dump it on the quayside where it's disposed of by the harbour authorities.
Do you feel like fish consuming the plastics is dangerous?
Certainly. The wee microfish there, they're finding traces of plastic in them as well, so it's a very big problem. And it's one that us as fishermen are trying to control, you know, but we can't control everything, but we can do our bit.
Although the impact of microplastics on human health is not yet fully understood, with the amount of plastic floating in our seas set to skyrocket, and with so many people eating fish more than ever before, the question is, how safe do you feel?